Welcome back, everyone. These days, there are so many different medications out there. It seems there's something for everyone. And most of us are used to taking what the doctor prescribes, thinking, or at least hoping, it'll help whatever ails us.
But what if that medicine actually hurts us instead of helps us? If it's something that can be prevented, you'll want to know about it. So joining us to tell us more is consumer lawyer Eric Seidel. Good to have you here.
Good morning, guys. Yes, it is great to be here. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart, by the way, because I have a child who's special needs, and a lot of the things we're going to be talking about would possibly and can possibly cause birth defects. So I don't want anyone who could possibly prevent a birth defect to not be able to do so.
All right, so this is typically, this is especially for women in their first trimester of pregnancy?
It is. A lot of these, now these all come from the FDA's website, fda.gov, and I encourage people to go there to check it out. The first one I just mentioned would be Topamax. This is something that many women take for either seizures like epilepsy, or some take it for migraines, but the FDA is warning that if you're taking it and you become pregnant while you're on it, you have a higher risk, they say, of having a child with birth defects. And these are very specific birth defects. They could have a cleft lip or a cleft palate or both.
Okay, now Paxil is something that a lot of people are on.
Yes, a lot of people, and you see that advertised. It's a medication used for anti-depression. But again, this is something that if you become pregnant while you are on it, the FDA says you have a higher than general risk of having a child with some type of birth defect. And this is heart defects, holes in the heart, the wall that separates the two sides of the heart can have a deviation in it, and this is a birth defect that they say you have a 1.5 to 2 times more likely chance of a child getting if the mom is on this medication.
Wow.
So for anybody who's out there who's going through this right now and who says, well, yes and yes and yes, this is me. What is their course of action at this point?
Good question. You really need to consult with your doctor. There are alternatives to many of these medications, and if you feel that you are of childbearing age and are likely to become pregnant, then maybe the doctor may have another alternative for you, or they may weigh the risks and the cons about possibly whether you should still be on this medication, because of course even a pregnant woman having a seizure could have a risk to the child without taking their medication. So you don't want to give it up just to avoid the risk. It's more of a balancing test.
Yeah, okay, well, you say you don't want to give it up, you know, necessarily. Topamax, I take migraine medicine, and before I was pregnant, my doctor said to me, don't take Topamax. That was one of the ones that I was told not to. But then I said, well, what can I take? She gave me a couple other medicines, but she said, you know, sometimes things come up later down the line and you find out it's not safe later. So is anything safe?
Yes, I mean, it depends on your situation. All drugs have side effects. You know, you can look at a bottle of aspirin, and even they have all these incredible side effects.
Right.
What we want people to know is to be aware of those side effects. So if you're in a situation where there might be a higher risk, then you should be able to be forewarned and ask for an alternative, perhaps.
Even people who've had hip replacement surgery?
Yes. Right.
This is something, and you've seen this on TV a lot, too. I mean, these recalls that come out, the FDA has reported a voluntary recall on hip implants. These are the DePuy ASR hip implants that were metal on metal that people had put in. Can you imagine?
Recall?
Yes, can you imagine getting a hip implant and then having it recalled, right?
What do you do?
There's a lot of lawsuits about this because there's a lot of money and pain having to be spent on this.
Okay, well, all things that everybody out there should look into for sure.
Definitely, and that's my idea, is to try to warn people ahead of time. I do it on my website. I put out various videos on this sort of thing, so I want people to be forewarned. So prevention is really the key.
Well,
on
we'll
all
have
these things.
A link on our website to your website.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
DaytimeOnline.tv.
Eric Seidel, thank you.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back with more Daytime. Please stay with us.